today to our remote workshop. Thank you for being with us, Francesca. My name is Polly, and this is Kira, and we are second year MPH students, and we are representing Health Promotion Services. So we're super excited to talk to you and so glad that you're able to join us at noon o'clock, at 12 o'clock today. So we want to be able to help you make the best of this new remote lifestyle that we have going on for the last year or last few semesters. But before we get started, can we kind of get to know who you are, what year you're in, undergrad, grad, your major, if that's okay, if you want to unmute yourself, and what brought you here today as well.
Oh, yeah. So sorry, the question was what was my major and then year? Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm a senior and then my major is political science. And then I was just interested to see, this was in the promotion for this was in my email. So I was just curious to see if I could get any like tips and tricks to finish out senior year, online during a pandemic.
Sounds good. Congrats. You're almost there.
Yeah, yeah, trying to fight the senioritis.
Yes, yes. Well, what better way to fight the senioritis but to join us on Zoom again? So,
Yeah.
so thank you so much for responding and for being with us today. Being here and knowing that, what, I gotta, maybe do something different, learn something new, and we hope
Yeah.
we're here to teach you something new. So thank you for that. So as always, this will be a very interactive workshop. We highly encourage you to participate. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and jump on in. There's only three of us. So, it's open, safe space to talk about a bunch of things. So, all right. So just to know that we know you hear us, give us a virtual thumbs up and to make sure we're all on the same page. Thank you. Thank you, Francesca. Thank you. So, so today, remote. Remote stands for routine, engagement, management, opportunity, take breaks, and exercise. And we know that's a lot going on, and we're not going to remember that right off the bat. So we're going to go down each row and kind of break it down a little bit for everybody. So we just a quick poll or a quick just to you, Francesca. How would you describe your ability to deal with this new learning environment, especially your senior year? How are you feeling about it? Are you feeling awesome, awesomest, awesomer? Do you feel like you need work?
I feel like um I think with like any school year at the beginning of the year, the motivation is there, and then as the the year goes on, the fatigue kicks in. But I
Definitely.
definitely believe that it's amplified with classes being online and like having to not only sit at your desk on your computer for classes, but then afterwards making sure you complete your assignments yeah, on a computer. So I think it's definitely a lot to get used to and adjusted to. Just yeah, just being online all the time.
Yeah, yeah. The fatigue is real. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So because we're so mindful and aware of this, having this workshop to kind of go over what being remote means is super important more than ever now. So let's just get down to the nitty gritty with routine. So with routine, um, it this can become reactionary with daily activities, right? So when we have a routine, um, they say it helps a great deal with just keeping up with a set schedule. So very important to be physical, sleep, exercise, and eat. Super important to always have that routine of a good sleep schedule, 30 to 45 minutes of an exercise, or even 15 minutes to stretch. Because like you said, being on the computer all day, I know as a grad student, we are always on, and then I'm on for work. So I totally get that. So setting a regular sleep schedule, exercising regularly, eating proper meals. It's so tempted to just, have junk food, right there because it's easier. But it's super more important than ever to have those healthy snacks. So keeping those healthy, a fruit, apple, whatever. And then we go down to work and school, being able to plan your day, right? keeping up with, what I do, and I can just speak for myself, is like I really plan my day through a calendar. My Google Calendar is like my best friend. And so what I do is just making sure that I take care of all my personal needs early in the morning, so just stretching and working out and making sure you plan your work and school schedules correctly. Do you work at all, Francesca? Or are you just doing school right now?
Yes, I
You
work
work
in school.
you work at home too?
I actually work on campus.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so I get to give me a break. Um, like I can separate work from home.
Oh, nice. Good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us who work in the medical field are at home
Mhm.
sometimes with school, so it gets a little trying. But I'm glad
Yeah.
you're. What do you do on campus?
I work at the front desk for
Oh,
the buildings that are open.
okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we didn't have to worry about that. You're all good.
Yeah.
So with personal, very important to have your habits. It says it takes 2 weeks to develop a habit. So something to kind of take into consideration, maybe a habit that you've been trying to like build up. Maybe this is a good time to build it up since it's COVID. You have 2 weeks to maybe get, that eating habit right, or that, drinking more water, small little baby steps. So making sure to have those, intact is also very important. All right. So off to the next letter we have here is engagement. So with engagement, making time to engage with your peers, your friends, your family, coworkers, pets, boyfriend, whoever, as part of our routine, it's vital for our mental state as well to really be able to have human connection, right? So super, super important. People were social beings, and being sociable is so important. So being engaged, and research shows us time and time again that when you're able to be socially with other people, you live longer and have fuller lives. So very important, even though with um, COVID and with not being able to see people, are you finding yourself being able to engage with family and friends? Francesca?
Yeah, my family, my hometown is about 2 hours away from San Francisco, so the engagement is there. We regularly like talk every day, and then I also have some friends who live in San Francisco that I'm able to see socially distanced. So um, of course, like everything's not like normal, but I am aware like the importance of like trying to keep in contact with friends because I mean, yeah, like you said, we're all social beings, and yeah, it is hard not to just. It is hard not being able to just get up and go hang out with your friends or family whenever you want. Now we have to
Mhm.
actually like plan it out.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so good that you're still at least, you're aware of that, and you're doing it the social connection, the right way, and making sure to practice a safe social distancing that they've put on
Yeah.
us. But so again, working with others and building a bond with people, I think at this time a lot of people are also connecting, find creative ways to connect. I see people having like picnics, but they're kind of social distance themselves with their families. I see people do that a lot too. So engagement with people is super important at this time to help with your mental health more than anything, So thank you for sharing what you're doing, Francesca. So now that we're in this new environment where we work, school, and play, all in the same space, you're so fortunate you're able to go on campus. I miss being on campus. I'm actually in LA County, so I miss being in San Francisco. So so we have to manage those distractions and expectations of ourselves within this new normal. So it's also okay to take time for yourself too, right? So that we're going to management M. So, like I was saying, being able to know, what, sometimes it's too much to deal with people, and managing to just have that self-care is also super important. Do you have like any self-care routines for yourself? Behavioral health, this is
Yeah,
Melissa. How can I help you?
I actually before quarantine I exercised a lot, so I've been trying to keep up with that. just exercising at home any way I can. And then also I've gotten back into reading. So like I guess I've been making it a point to get away from the screen, and reading books that are still like engaging and fun, but I'm able to like be away from the screen, so that helped with the fatigue. And then of course just being outside. I think spending any time outside, even if it's like for 10 minutes, is better than nothing.
Perfect. Thank you. So when we're thinking of management, we're thinking about, moving towards that selfish mentality to that selfless mentality. But I think it's also important when you're managing to really take care of yourself. That, in my opinion, anyways, especially more than ever. Um, so with the new expectations of ourselves, we got to think about how we can also be a service to other people. Maybe since you're on campus, I think it's great that you may be able to reach out to certain people, um, and be a service of the people that you do see on campus. I'm sure that there's very few people, right?
Yes.
So, sometimes that's a good thing. You never know who you're going to cross paths with.
Yeah.
So when people feel safe and they're a service to other people, you're doing a service tremendously by working on campus. I think that's great. So management of that. My apologies, I'm at work. So I'm gonna have Kira move on to the rest. And Kira, you good to navigate at the same time?
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on to the next one is opportunity. So during this time, we want to find and create new things for ourselves, like routines, and challenge ourselves. So I think, like you said, you challenged yourself to read more during this time, which is great. And I mean, if you can, other things like maybe call versus text your friends and all that, but then you also meet up with them in person, which is great. Um, and then also looking to reframe what's in front of us to help us grow as human beings and just be present with what we're doing. And also resiliency, which is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, uncertainties. It's another kind of toughness. So building your resiliency, sorry, during this time is important. And we actually run another workshop called Road to Resiliency, which is tomorrow. If you have the time, it's the same time as this one. So moving on to the next one, taking breaks, putting your electronics away, getting outside when you can. I think you've already talked about this a little bit, so I think doing all the right, you're taking all the right steps in managing the remote life. Um, and another thing is if you can change up your um, workspace environment, like when you're at home, if you can move your laptop to a different room, like let's say you work in your bedroom for the morning and then move to the kitchen or somewhere else in your house for the remainder of the day, just so that it gives you a fresh space. And exercise, I think you've got that covered. I mean, the important part is just being consistent with it and just taking short walks, going outside. But I think you mentioned that you've been trying to exercise as much as you can during this time. So props, you're already taking some of these steps.
I actually have one of my classes because I was trying to get extra credit. One of my classes is like a exercise class. So I guess even then, it like if I don't feel like doing it that day, I'm sort of forced to. So I guess that's good.
Yeah, that's great. Props for you for going for the extra credit.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving into the key takeaways, can you tell us back what remote stands for?
Yeah, so remote stands for routine, engagement, management, opportunity, take breaks, and exercise.
Yay!
Hey.
Thank you for the recap.
Yeah.
So it's important that we have control of our. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my voice this morning. Our outlooks and outcomes to accomplish our goals and change the way that we think. Consistency is key when it comes to building routines and changing our behavior. It's just part of the process. And of course, practice makes perfect, and practice makes a habit. So now that we're coming to the end, what is one wellness goal that you want to implement this week? Can you make
Um, hmm, um, maybe I guess maybe challenge myself more. Like to stick to my routines. I guess, like, of course, there are days where I don't feel like following throughout the routine, but I think if I like, if I'm able to establish to make it a habit, then that would be helpful. But yeah, I guess just making sure I follow my routine and stick to my like agenda, so I don't get behind in school.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially the senioritis, like you said, it's so easy. Like you're like, I'm almost there and I don't want it to get there. I remember being a senior. So yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. I think you're in the right path though. You're going in the right direction. You know, everything that you shared with us so far sounds like you're doing good with having some type of routine. You breaking it every now and then is okay.
Yeah, and then if you can, make sure that you get some of your friends to join you with practicing these goals, like exercising. I don't know if you can like Zoom call an exercise or something.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's so true. I should. I guess
Yeah.
it would be more fun too.
Yeah, it keeps people accountable. I hear people do that a lot, right? They do the
They do.
exercising through Zoom. Yeah, people do that a lot. And I know that the campus has like you sign up for, they have this like Wednesday night yoga.
Uh,
I haven't joined it yet, but I know that if you go back to like the HPS website, they have like nighttime yoga. So
oh wow. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So something to think about if you want to stretch,
Yeah.
good stretch routine. Yeah.
Okay, so did you have any questions for us?
Um, I guess kind of. Like, let's say, like I mentioned, like when I do fall off a routine, or when you do fall off your routine, and like you have to play catch up. Like, I guess what's the best way to go about that? Like, um, I guess like managing the stress and the fatigue, because sometimes it feels like there's not enough time to take a break, with assignments and midterms and stuff. So yeah.
Um, I think the best thing, um, I know was I can only speak for myself, but for when I fall off, um, I try to start the week new every time, right? So it's like, okay, what I do is like try prioritize, like, okay, what might be due in like a week versus a month. Sometimes I think when we fall behind, we start getting boggled down a bit, right? We start like, oh gosh, I have to do A, B, and C. So what I try to do for myself is really prioritize and just look at my calendar. And I think that's like a big part of like remote learning, is having a really good routine of like knowing your calendar and setting that calendar down and just seeing everything in a big picture kind of way. I don't know if you're like a visual learner or I'm a visual learner, so I have to see a calendar. So I find that when I fall, which has happened to me too as a grad student, is just saying, okay, you know what? It's okay. I have this amount of time to get this completed, and then let me just make sure I get whatever's closest to a due date done. So I span I really follow through with a routine and a schedule just because I also work full time. So yeah. How about
Okay.
you, Kira?
Yeah, so for me, I have fallen off the routine so many times. So I definitely feel that. Um, but for me, getting back on, I set my daily reminders, and if I don't hit it one day, then I'll just move on to the next day. But I do sometimes try to start the week fresh, like with taking, like for me personally, sometimes I have to take my vitamins. So if I don't take it, like if I don't take it today, then I'll take it tomorrow, just make up for it tomorrow. Um, it's I just usually set the reminders on my phone at a certain time, so I know I have a sense in my mind, oh, I know it's coming, so maybe I should take it before. But sometimes we have class, so I can't. So it's balancing. It's a juggling act for sure, and prioritizing.
Okay, yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, and biggest thing too is just to be kind to yourself when it doesn't happen, practicing that self-compassion with yourself when things are not going as planned, especially as a senior. I think sometimes when you're at that long stretch, you're like, I'm almost there, and it seems so long, but you got here, and kudos to you. Great job. School is tough as it is, and with remote learning, it can be a little harder, but finding kindness and compassion for yourself. I think you're doing great, Francesca. It sounds like things are going really good, and just being here today and being present with us, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I really like this. And yeah, I definitely got some good tips. And I liked what you both said about like starting your week new. And like I guess just resetting your mindset or resetting your routine. That's really helpful.
Yes, definitely. Do you have any more questions for us? We have an evaluation if you can take it for us. We love your feedback. We have one more workshop tomorrow. Kira put it on the chat. If you want to join the Roads to Resilience workshop, also a great workshop on how to build resilience. And I think the resilience and the remote learning comes hand in hand. So hope you can join us.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. All right, that went well. I don't know. When I get to M,
Oh.
I needed to look at